Hear me loud and clear when I say this. Being born into poverty isn't a choice, but staying there, it is. Let's take a look and see, what do you choose? Don't just keep watching my YouTube videos and feeling inspired. Do something with the information that I provide to you. Quit being poor, for God's sake. When I'm talking about poor, I'm not just talking about money. It's also your mentality. Let that ego go. Check your ego at the door. Just like that bad credit. Welcome to your success stories. I'm your girl Nika Johnson, a credit coach and budgeting expert, and I'm going to help you get there. Today we'll be talking about the 7 things that keeps you poor. So when we're talking about the 7 things that makes you poor, number 1 is you. Simply put, you. Have you looked in the mirror lately? Sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror. I mean, I know I look good and all. I know I like to take a million selfies. You know, I got body edges and good credit, but the reality is you are the reason why you were poor. It's so easy to place blame on someone else and not take accountability for our own actions. You say you want success, but you're not willing to do the work. You say you want a house, but you're not willing to fix your credit or save money. You say you want a reliable vehicle to be able to get you to point A to point B, but then you're comfortable to go to a buy here, pay here, driving off the lot with a 20% interest rate, but then you're quick to go to Johnny T's and go to the club and go spend money on a Rick James or anything else. The reality is you're the only person that could get you out of the current situation. And I'm not just talking about poor monetary. I'm talking about poor with a mindset. You're poor because you're afraid to get off of Section 8. You're afraid to get off of housing. You're afraid to get off of government assistance because that's all you know. But how can you sit up here and say that you want more, but when you're blessed or when you're praying for things and you get them, you mishandling them? You fumbled the bag. Just like you're fumbling that last relationship because you didn't want to heal because those traumas was projected. When I'm talking about poor, I'm not just talking about money. It's also your mentality. It's your mindset. You're poor in the choices that you are making. You're poor because you want to be poor. It's comfortable. It feels good. Doing the right thing? No, you shy away from that. The reality is, it's you. You're poor because you're afraid. You don't want to take risks. You like to play it safe, but you want the instant gratification, right? You want to live the lifestyle of the hard work, but you don't know what comes with it. You want the overnight success. You want to take the elevator. Yeah, you don't like to walk. You don't like to work out. You a person that like to take the elevator. I'm here to tell you, you are holding yourself back. Look yourself in the mirror. I want you to journal, scream, cry, shout, do whatever you need to do. But make for sure this is your last year being poor. Quit being poor in the mind. Quit being poor in the heart. Quit being poor in your pockets. 2, you're poor because your relationship with money. It's not about how much money you make, but manage the money you do make. I don't care if you trying to go to another job that pays you $2, $3 an hour. You think because you went from $15 to $18, you went from $25 to $28, that you was going to be able to pay your bills on time, that you was going to avoid late fees, overdraft, courtesy pay. Reality is you can't change your relationship with money. As your income increases, so does your expenses. So you're still in this rabbit hole because you don't want to sign up for Budget to Success for services. You're too embarrassed. I don't know why. It's not like you're too young. It's not like you're too old. It's not like that you're late. Run your race and quit trying to compare yourself to social media and feeling like that you behind. You right where you're supposed to be. Stuck, stagnant. But we could be so much more if you do what you need to do so you don't become poor. So you don't stay poor. But change your relationship with money, because if you go back to school and get an associate's degree, if you get a bachelor's degree, if you get your master's, your doctorate, you can have all the education in the world and still be poor. And you could be book smart, but the reality is you don't do nothing with that education. Some of y'all go to school just to get a refund check. Let's keep it real. What are you doing with all the education? It's stuck here, but you're not putting it out into the world for no better good. What type of impact are you making? Change your relationship with money. As quickly as come, as quickly as go. You count your pockets, it's burning right through you before you even get it. So when the time comes for opportunity, you can't even take it because you wasn't even ready. You can't even save a dime. You make all these excuses of, I got this bill, I got that bill, man, life be lifing. Make something shake. Make the necessary sacrifices, but change your relationship with money. Don't blame it on the school education because they didn't teach you. Don't blame it on your parent, your guardian, because they didn't know. They knew what they knew. They did what they could. But now you know better so you could do better, but you're still not doing no better. How many times you gonna keep starting over? How many times you gonna keep giving up? Like, ask yourself that. What is it going to take for you to make the choice today so you can thank your later self? Don't just keep watching my YouTube videos and feeling inspired. Do something with the information that I provide to you. Quit being poor, for God's sake. Share me your wins. I want you to win. You think I just get and turn on the camera and talk to myself just for fun? I mean, I know I'm crazy. You know, I'm a Gemini and all. But the reality is, change your relationship with money. Because the more money you make, the more piss poor spending habits that you have created. It's the nicer car. It's the more electronics that you want. It's I gotta work hard because I never had nothing type stories. Sound familiar? So what you gonna do about it? And another thing that keeps you poor is when you scared that you're not gonna have money or make it again, then you hold on it too tight. You hold it on. Locked up, they won't let me out. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. You locked up in the mind because you scared to spend the money, but you don't have enough belief, or you really don't realize your talents and your gifts. You sleeping on yourself, but because you're not used to having money, then it's you never want to spend it. And that's still bad, a relationship with money, because you can't even enjoy life. You work so hard, but then you can't even create memories or really have something to work towards. I don't know everything, but I know something. And what else I know? 3 is your spending habits is what keeps you poor. Yeah, you out here in the latest dripped in fashion. You out here dripped in the latest designer. You got all the designer purses. You don't hesitate 5 bands on a purse. But what do you own? No. Do you even own your business? Do you even actually have it trademarked? Do you have a life insurance policy? Do you own a house? Do you own a car? Do you own yourself, or are you a victim to being a slave to the government and to these streets? What is it? What do you own? What type of assets? How much is you worth? What's your wealth portfolio look like? Do you know what that is? In short, it's your spending habits that you have nothing to show for. How many times do you get 2 bands, 5 bands, 10 bands for taxes? What you do with it? You don't even own the house that you've been renting in for the last 5-10 years, but you quick to put 1 million Christmas presents underneath a tree to post for social media. You quick to go ahead and buy the latest Jordans or Yeezys to put on your kids' feet so they could look good, but their grades don't look good. Can they read? Can they write? Are they too busy on electronics because you don't want to take time and be a parent for once? Ooh, I think I'm getting too hot to the surface. I think I'm touching feelings right now. But if you know me and you follow my journey, nothing was ever handed to me. I literally got it out the mud. That rose from the concrete, that blossom, you looking at her. The one that didn't grow up with her father, the one that he will walk in the same room, don't speak and acknowledge. The trials and tribulations what made me who I am. But instead, I didn't grow up with little daddy girl issues, the insecurities, and not know my self-worth, because that took a lot of inner work. But the reality of it, I had to learn that those things that I went through made me who I am. So it's up to you to either change the trajectory and become a better person and be better, or fall on the same mistakes. If you a father and you didn't have your father in your life, why are you out here being a deadbeat? You know how that feels. Do what you need to do. Even when it doesn't feel right. Do the right even when someone is not looking. But it's your spending habits. You can justify spending for a vacation, going on a cruise, but you can't justify spending money to invest into credit repair because it's too expensive, right? If I ask you a question, how much should credit repair cost? Like, the reality of it, have you really sat down and think about it? How much credit repair should cost for something that would change your life so you can get and pay a lower amount on your car insurance, to be able to have a better life insurance, to be able to rent a house or apartment, to be able to get a car and save money, to be able to get a credit card without have to pay a deposit and actually get higher tiers of credit limits? You want me to keep going? It helps you get a job because some jobs do credit checks. I could keep going at how much your credit do for you, but you're not willing to pay for it because it's too expensive. But you want to bet your eyes on getting a tattoo, to go out, to take a trip, to buy bundles, to go buy that bag. And I'm talking about that. But it could be a shopping bag too. It's your spending habits. Your spending habits is what keeps you poor. That mindset of what I don't know won't hurt me. The mindset of I'm not checking this mail because I'm not worried about it right now. They go get their money whenever they want to get it. The mindset of I just don't care. The mindset of I'm going to get this car and I know that I ain't been paying the bill, but I'm going to storage in the garage. Does any of this sound familiar? Because I could keep going. It's your spending habits that keeps you poor. You're buying the latest cell phone. For what? You're leasing it. All you gonna do is lease all your life? You just want to be a serial leaser. You don't want to be a buyer, do you? Okay. And within that is 4 is your lack of control. Say it again. Your lack of control. You know you're not supposed to be spending money. You know you're supposed to be in a budget, but you choose otherwise. You turn a blind eye. You see no wrong with what you're doing. You know you got debt, but you want to go take your kids shopping because you want to feel like you're parent of the year. You are an amazing parent. You are. You're doing the best that you can. Make the necessary sacrifices now. Again, being born into poverty isn't a choice, but staying there is. You are poor. What are you going to do to not be poor? Financially, mentally, spiritually, physically. If you know better, do better. If you don't know how, ask. Be vulnerable. Let that ego go. Check your ego at the door. Just like that bad credit. The lack of control that you have of your spending habits. Of when your friend says, hey, let's go out. Let's go to the movies. And you know that you're supposed to be budgeting. Why is it so hard to say no? The lack of control with boundaries. Why is it so hard for you to set them? The lack of control, therefore, is what causing you to stay poor. And y'all may not want to know the next one, but 5 is your partner. Hide your wife, hide your kids. Your partner.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Your partner, the person you chose, or you continuously to choose every day until you learn how to choose yourself. Your partner is, if they not motivating you, if they not uplifting you, if they not making your life easier instead of harder, adding additional stress, it's your partner. Why your partner can't contribute to their half of the bills? Why they can't pay rent? Why they can't help with the bills? If you short, why can't they come through? If you gotta do everything by yourself, you might as well be by yourself. You ain't got time to be in a relationship, but it's your partner that keeps you poor. I want you to really identify, is your partner adding value? Is it an asset or is it a liability? Do your partner add value? Do your partner hold you accountable? Can they tell you when you're wrong without you being defensive? Rolling your eyes. And not willing to accept feedback. So we have people that could bring us up and can also bring us down. Is your partner got you drinking more? Do they got you smoking more? Are you acting more erratic? Are you finding yourself more tense and more angry when y'all are in the same room? Is your partner not knowing that you're trying to save money and they want to spend money? It's your partner that's keeping you poor. Do you ever think about that you could be so much further in life if you cut ties? Cut ties. But it seems hard. But you're not willing to do the hard things. You know what you need to do. Why you keep waiting for someone to tell you? Ain't nobody about to come save you. Save yourself. Do you want to be poor or not? Make the choices today. 6, your bills. I said it. Why you got cable? You got HomeR, Home HDR, in every room to where it's recording on your show. You got Stars, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Sling. You have all these subscriptions, right? You got cable, ABC Mouse. You probably been paying for ABC Mouse for God knows when because you don't pay attention to your bank account.
Oh no.
But it's your bills. You're living way above your means. Slow and steady wins the race. So quit rushing the process. Yeah, slow down. It's okay. You don't have to have a big house right now. Your car, you don't need a new car. You just paid it off. Why are you trying to buy a new car already? Have you for once ever lived life without paying a car note? Guess what? If you had a car note and you paid it off, then you can add that money into a savings account or allocate those monthly payment amounts towards debt. It's your bills. You're living above your means. Your house may be your biggest debt. Your car may be your biggest debt besides you. But it's your bills, the things that you need, you really don't need. If I asked you if everything was taken from you, if you lost your job, your source of income, and you need to be able to get by, what is the main things that you need? Quit wasting food all the time. Yeah, you may get food stamps and you feel like you're not spending it, so it's always going in the trash. Quit doing that. Quit wasting food. Quit talking about your kids don't eat leftovers. What? Okay. But it's your bills. You may be sitting in your biggest expense right now. What could you do if you downsize to be able to focus on paying off debt? Take control of that debt and then live the life that you want. It's your bills of your personal upkeep. Oh, I gotta have my hair done. You see me in front of thousands of people. My hair not done all the time. If you see my last video, I had the mark of Buddha on my forehead. It was talking to you alone when I was talking to you. I didn't stop that from turning this camera on and spitting to you some real things that you need to know so you can quit being poor. You need your hair done, your nails done, your lashes. What was you doing before all these things was invented? You want the tattoo eyebrows. You want all these things, but it doesn't make up with your goals. I just don't get it. Who are you trying to look good for? You trying to impress somebody else that's poor. Does that make sense? It's your bills. It's your bills such as you feel like all your kids need to have a cell phone. Why do your 5-year-old need a phone? Because I don't trust nobody and I need to be able to talk to my kid. What you do before cell phones? You trying to have your little baby have a phone and you can't even afford it. Okay. And you wonder why you're poor. Okay. Noted. You can lower your bills if you want to, but you simply choose not to. And before we keep going, I'm gonna need you to like and comment and subscribe and turn on your post notifications and show your girl some love. Make sure you comment down below, okay? All right. Yeah, I guess. Your friendships. That's right. Your friendships. The ones that you call everybody a friend and you can't tell the difference between associate, a business partnership, or actual friend. Speaking of friend, do they even know your birthday? Do they know your favorite color? Or y'all just friends because it looks good for social media? Y'all surface level friends, right? Y'all know nothing about each other. Do they know your kids? Do your kids consider them TT or uncle? Nah, y'all know. Y'all not ready for this conversation. It's your friends. The ones you call your friends, some of them can be in secret competition. It didn't just start when you became successful. They was always low-key in competition. You just didn't pay attention to the signs. It's the jealousy, the insecurity. They want your life. Yeah. We all may have experienced this a time or another, but it's your friends. You go buy a bag, she want to buy a bag. You take a trip, she want to take a trip. That's competition for me sometimes. I don't know, folks. One person get a surgery, the next friend get a surgery. One person get a degree and major in this field, then they want to get in this field. But the thing about it is one person was passionate, the other one wasn't. They trying to do it to keep up. Now you got to pay off this debt. Similar to everyday faces that people are trying to do to keep up with the Joneses. Run your race. That is your biggest letdown. That's your biggest fall of you can't even think on your own. And that's what keeps you poor. You're so undecided. You don't know what you want. You don't know your purpose. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? You know all the answers, but the ones that keep you poor. You know what else keeps people poor when it comes to relationships is having certain desires. And this could be like within partnerships, right? Any ships. It's your desires of your goals is not in alignment. Your desires is too big than your work ethic. You want these now, but you can't wait for later. It's the relationships that you have with your inner self, your childhood that you did not heal. It's your trauma of your childhood that you did not heal. Well, I'm that way because I want to be that way. That's no excuse. So you don't want to have a level of increased emotional intelligence and learn how to have healthy levels of communication? Okay. We see how well that's going for you. You hold on to these traumas trying to escape reality of trying to numb the pain or avoid it, but it's still there. And so it's you keep you poor from the people that you're dating. The same type, relationship after relationship. You keep you poor. Your relationships that you have because your friend may be on a higher income level than you do and you trying to upkeep. It's okay to say, hey, that's not on my budget. If they invite you to dinner to a fancy fine dining restaurant and you struggling, hey, it's not on my budget, but can me and you do something one-off? Or I don't have it right now. Like, it's the relationships, because you may not have it right now, but then you go swipe your credit card because you want to look like you have it. It's the relationships. These could be a relationship with family, feeling self-entitled and feeling obligated to help the world when sometimes you can't help yourself. But ultimately, these are the 7 things that keeps people poor. If you fit any one of these, what are you going to do going forward so you don't stay poor? And before I get out of here, I just got one question for you. Is that in your budget?